there, welcome to VCode's 100 Days of Coding Challenge. Today is day 22 and let's see the question number 2. So the question is, write a Java function called calculate binomial coefficient that calculates and returns the binomial coefficient c of n comma k. The function should take two integers n and k as input and return an integer which represents the binomial coefficient c of n comma k. So the function description is the return type must be an int and the name of the function is calculate binomial coefficient which takes input parameters n comma k. So the input is two integers as said and it returns an integer which is binomial coefficient. So if we take sample input, we had given 5 and 2, so the output is 10. So we had already seen what is binomial coefficient in our earlier grades in the concept called permutations and combinations. So now let's quickly recap the formula of it and what exactly it is. So binomial coefficient is basically, so if we take some n elements, so if there are some n elements and we want to choose some k elements from it. So how many ways are there to choose k elements from this n elements? So that is exactly this binomial coefficient. It is denoted by n, c and k. So this c is basically the combinations which we had already studied. So this is equal to, so how many possibilities do we have? So there is a formula to calculate it. So which is n factorial by n minus k factorial into k factorial. So this is the formula we are going to use using functions. So here we need to use functions. As you can observe from the formula, here we have factorial. We had already discussed how to write the function for factorial. So we are going to use that and write a function for binomial using this function of factorial. So now let's do the code and check. So I have already created the Java file which is binom.java. So it's kind of shortcut. So now in the main method I am going to write, so let it be int n equals, so let it be, so now I will directly write the print statement to print the binomial coefficient. So calculate binomial coefficient, very big name. So n is greater than k, right? So the first parameter which goes is n and the second is k. So I have taken 5 and 2 as sample now. So now let me write the function for the calculate binomial coefficient. So I will name static and the return type is int. Now the name of the function, the input parameters are int, so we have taken n and int k. So here we have to remember is n is greater than k always. Okay. So what next? So here we have to return. So what we have to return here? So let me name another variable here, int binom equals, so let me write coefficient. So this is, here we need to find the factorial of n minus k and k and we have to put it into the formula. So I will directly call the function of factorial. So I have to declare this. So factorial of n divided by, so here it would be factorial of n minus k into factorial of k. So this code doesn't know what is this factorial, so I have to declare it here. So I will write a new function. So before that, let me also write the return statement. So here I have to return directly the coefficient. So now let's write the function for factorial. The return type is int. So static int fact of int n. So here also we need to return a variable of int. So what is that? So here I am going to use the concept of recursion which we already used. So it is fact of n minus 1. So this would be n into fact of n minus 1. So now here I am going to write the base case. So we call this as base case. So that is, at certain point the n value will become 0. At that point we have to initialize, so we have to return the value when n is 0. So what is factorial of 0? It is 1. So I will return 1. Then we will keep on multiplying and this function will work. Okay, so for this function we have calculated the factorial, and that factorial I am using here to find the coefficient, and finally we had returned the coefficient, and after finding the coefficient I am printing that coefficient in the main method. So this is it. So now let's check and run the code to check if it is working or not. So the output we need to get is, if we have taken 5 and 2, we have got the output as 10. So let's check it. So let me first compile the file, binom.java and java binom. So the code is successful and we had got the value as 10. So I hope you all have understood this. So in this solution we had checked how to find the binomial coefficient of 2 if we are given with a number n and k. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.